Yes, there are a number of details in the Gospel that help us to understand that this tomb could well have been the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea. For example, it has to be in a garden near Skull Hill, and this tomb is only about 100 yards from Golgotha. Also, it has to be cut out of solid rock, and many of the grave places in those days were just caves, but this is cut out of solid rock. And thirdly, it has to befit a wealthy Jew of the Herodian period. And we know that Joseph was wealthy, and this tomb bears all the hallmarks of belonging to a wealthy Jew. And two archaeologists who've been here date it to the Herodian period. And then it has to have a channel for the rolling stone. And behind me you can see the channel where the stone would have been. Also, there has to be room inside for several people to gather. And we know that the women were coming with their spices to lay them out to perform their last act of love for Jesus.
There are several surprising features about this tomb. First of all, there's a slot here carved in the floor, which allows us to slip in vertically a slab of stone. The same slot is cut behind me, and there's one over to the other side. So 3 times. That allows me to put in the vertical piece of stone and then lay in a flat slab on top of that, and then the body would lie on top. Now let me show you something else. We're in the vestibule of the tomb now. This could be used, for example, for preparation of the body. And I want to emphasize that Jews did not embalm. Their hope was in the resurrection. The women wanted to bring spices to the tomb to assist in the whole problem of decomposition and all of that.
When the women came down to this tomb, or the tomb where Jesus was buried on Easter Sunday morning, we know from the Gospels that one of the things they were concerned about was how in the world they were going to be able to roll away the humongous stone that had been placed in front of the tomb. Well, the Gospel of Matthew tells us that they didn't need to worry about that because an angel of the Lord came down from heaven and rolled aside the stone and sat on it. Well, this of course raises the question, why did the stone have to be rolled away at all? We know that Jesus in his post-resurrection body was able to walk through doors and walls, so you would think he could just come right out of the tomb without needing the stone rolled away. And the answer is that Jesus did not need the stone rolled away in order to come out from the tomb. That was simply God's way of showing the world that the tomb is now empty. There's no body in here. And this is the most significant aspect of the Christian faith, because we know that Jesus is no longer inside the tomb. He's no longer dead. And that's what the angel said to the women on Easter Sunday morning. And it's that message of hope that has resonated throughout the centuries. He is not here. He is risen, as he said.
He is in a place that we can reach him anytime we need. He's alive, and he is with us all the time through the Spirit of God that lives in us. And that's all part of the empty tomb.
Jesus was alive. Death had no power over him. The risen Lord revealed himself to some 500 of his followers for 40 days. But most importantly, he wanted to reveal himself to those once closest to him. In one instance, he met with Peter, who had returned to the business of fishing in the Sea of Galilee.